this is Professor Benjamin, and in this walkthrough I am going to just quickly review our last week of covering data sets, and this week we're going to use Illinois jail data. So that's what we will be looking at today, is just this area here. Here is your data set, here is your assignment, here is where you will of course upload your assignment with your Excel sheet, and then here is a quiz on the Illinois jail population data set. I know that we have kind of covered data sets extensively, but it is an important tool for you, especially because you'll be using this in your final project. So we really want to ingrain the tools that you will use. Also, looking at the types of questions that are asked on these worksheets are really the kind of questions that we want you to ask for your final project. So we want you to kind of use these as templates for what data extraction you will do and data analyzation for your final project. So let's take a look at teaching Excel using the jail population data set. Here is the Word document. I've downloaded that document here. In review, what percentage of Illinois jail population is male? So you'll use COUNTIF for that. Then you need to look at the overall total in the jail population data set. Remember, you need to subtract 1 for that header variable row. And then you will, of course, divide the two and find the percentage. And then what percentage of the Illinois jail population is incarcerated on a felony charge? And when we walk through the data set, you'll be able to see where you can, what column the felony charge is located in. Percentage of Illinois jail population in the following age ranges. What population of the Illinois jail population is divorced? So a lot of people will think, well, what does this matter? Well, it actually plays a role. I mean, it is somewhat of a significant issue. Maybe if you're doing outreach in the jail population, maybe it'll be interesting to see for child custody, or for child support if there's children involved in the divorce. So there's a lot of questions to be answered with this data, or a lot of recommendations to give to law enforcement on that. Age range is the next one, and of course you'll use COUNTIFs. Remember, you need to use COUNTIFs because you need to do greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. The next one will be number of inmates in employment categories, so employed full-time, employed part-time, or unemployed. Then you need to fill out the chart related to days held in the jail. So this is interesting, how many days individuals have been held in the jail. And then fill out the following chart related to crime category. So you can see whether it's traffic, violent, property, public order, drug, or DUI. Then we're going to create a chart to inmate race. So you're going to need to type out the races that you were, and this goes all the way back to our first data analysis in the counted. So you'll need to create a chart that looks like this, that has race and then the different races listed, the number, meaning how many of that individual race, and then the percentage. Then we're going to do one for education level. So again, the same thing. You'll create a chart here, and in order to do that, you insert a table, and then you can say 3 across and then 3 down, or whatever it is. And at the top of your table will say education. It will say number and then percentage. So that's how you insert a table, and it'll be education level. So we'll take a look at the chart, and you have to look at, the database, and you'll have to look at what education levels are listed. Were more people arrested with a warrant or without a warrant? So you're going to need to just do COUNTIF warrant, COUNTIF non-warrant, and then you'll have to just compare the two numbers. And then, did more people pay their bond by cash or by credit card? And this is another huge question, and this deals with social injustices, is that a lot of times they require a cash bail, and a lot of people don't have the cash bail, so they'll sit in jail for a really long time on a minor charge because they do not have cash available. So you'll actually find that people being able to put stuff on credit card is a lot easier. a lot of people are able to get out on bail and go on with their lives, and of course until their court case. They're able to keep their job, they're able to do other things if a credit card option. Of course, there are then downsides to that credit card option, which is that of course individuals of certain race and socioeconomic class are given higher interest rates. So while they can put it on the credit card to get out of jail and then to continue on with their regular lives, they also then are incurring higher interest charges if they can't pay that bail back right away. So there's questions, you know, but the credit card option is definitely a viable option to allow individuals to be able to continue on with their lives until their court case hearing date, which of course everyone knows sometimes can drag on for a really long time. So at least while you're out on bail, you can continue to, you know, contribute to your family, to society in a meaningful way, all of those things. So there you go. So that's the data set that you're going to use and fill in this data sheet. But then of course you're going to need to look at the data set. So here's the data set, and here are the variables that we have that are in this data set. Booking date, so the date the individual was booked, and this goes between 2012 and 2014. The age of the individual that was booked, the days in jail, the marital status, the employment status of the individual. Of course, this was upon their arrest. This is race, gender, whether they were in the military or not. So that's actually another interesting topic you could look into, whether they are vets or non-vets, and whether that may play a role in whether they were jailed or not, whether maybe they have underlying conditions, PTSD or other conditions that may have contributed to their arrest, offense level, whether it was misdemeanor, felony, etc., higher education level, crime, what kind of crime was it? Then we have crime category, so there's different crime categories listed here. Arrest with warrant or without warrant. And as you can see here, one of the ways you could do this is it looks like without warrant is very specific. With warrant is not very specific. So that question that said, were they arrested with a warrant or without a warrant? What you should do is this, is you should look at how many individuals are in this database, and it looks like there are a significant amount of individuals. In fact, there are, sorry, I need to scroll this over just a little bit. It looks like there are 6, sorry, my screen is like right in the middle of the number. So it's really difficult for me to see how many individuals are here, but it looks to be 67,924 records, which means it would be 67,923 individual entries into this database. So what you would do is you could go over here for the warrant, non-warrant question, and what you could do is you could look for, using COUNTIF, how many without warrant, and then subtract that from the total, and then you'll be able to know how many without warrant, and then the others must be with warrant, some sort of warrant, because it looks like there's a lot of different warrants types. So you could say with warrant and subtract the two, and whichever, of course, is the higher number. So if COUNTIF comes up with 50,000 had a warrant, and then that would only leave 17,900 and something with the warrant. So you could look at the two, and that would be the best way to go about with or without a warrant, that question on the data sheet. The other thing is types of bond posted. So this is types of bond posted. Cash bond, of course, is cash. Credit card bond is non-cash. So remember, when you're putting in this information into COUNTIF, you need to be very specific about what it says. So in COUNTIF, when you are putting in when you select N and then in the next area you put in the criteria, you want to make sure you have this exact verbatim language with the exact spacing, etc. in between. So the best way to do this is to copy and paste from here into COUNTIF, because then that way you are encapsulating any of the capitalization or the spelling or the spacing so that you retrieve the correct return. Okay, so that goes over a little walkthrough of the week. Of course, if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out. And this is our last week working on Dataset. So have a little fun with it, and then you can breathe a sigh of relief as we move on to other topics within technology in criminal justice.